All right, so we're in here. The Shock Exchange, of course, and this is Trump and the GE. Troops deployed to Washington, D.C. to attract FIFA World Cup. So my question. A lot going on between President Trump and major cities, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Oakland, potentially Memphis. The president already deployed troops to Washington, D.C. and threatened to bring troops to Chicago. A couple of days ago, Governor Pritzker of Illinois said, please don't come to Chicago. But here's sort of the timeline of events to give you a pretext or give you a background. A guy nicknamed Big Balls was attacked. President Trump, and the president was upset about it, as he should have been. Allegedly, he was escorting a female to her car, and people tried to carjack her. He stepped in, and some teenagers beat this guy bloody. The guy said he thought he was dead. They've apprehended a couple of teenagers already, but it could be emblematic of a lot of crime going on in D.C., according to the president. There are a lot of teenagers committing crimes and running wild throughout D.C. On August 11th, the president announced he was deploying the National Guard and federalizing Washington, D.C. He deployed the National Guard, gave the order that day on August 11th. And since then, the Metropolitan Police Department has been reporting to Attorney General Pam Bondi. And there are hundreds of troops in Washington, D.C. going house to house, stopping cars in the street, checking cars for ID, and so on and so forth. And they made hundreds of arrests so far and brought the crime down a lot. And the president has questioned the actual crime rates from D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, and questioned whether those crime rates were massaged or forged, even, or some of those crimes reclassified to things less than murder or less than homicide, or less than some things to categories less that were not considered violent crimes, to make it appear that violent crimes declining. And he also called out other cities that probably had runaway crime rates, like Baltimore, Chicago, and Los Angeles, and Oakland. On August 22nd, Gianni Infantino of FIFA World Cup came to Washington, D.C. to announce plans to bring the World Cup to the U.S. and also two other countries, Mexico and Canada, and announced plans to announce the draws for the World Cup in December. So I'm going to share my screen and describe and let the president and Gianni Infantino describe FIFA World Cup coming to the U.S., some of the proceedings being taking place in D.C., and how clean the city is now that the president's cleaned it up with the National Guard. Here goes.
So it fits well.
That goes very well on the wall right over there. We'll put it right below the angels.
It fits well here.
That's beautiful. Yeah,
Until we have to give it to the next winner.
That's fine. That's a beautiful piece of gold, I will say. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So 6 billion viewers for the World Cup, 6 million coming to the matches, 30 billion economic impact, 185,000 jobs. This will be absolutely fantastic. The biggest event ever, and everything will start here in Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center, or the Trump Kennedy Center. You'll see that how it will be called on the 5th of September at noon sharp. 5th of December, noon sharp. Then, if I may.
Will they be doing most of the draws, all of the draws at the Kennedy? Well, how are you going to do that?
Yes, we'll do that at the Kennedy Center. We'll do all the other meetings around it with the coaches, with the broadcasters, with the sponsors, everything at the Kennedy Center. The whole World Cup starts, and everyone will be happy because everyone has qualified for the World Cup and they didn't yet play a game, so they didn't lose yet the game. So they all think they can become world champion, right?
They'll all be happy.
Exactly. Now,
by the way, an example, supposing we had a week better. Brian, do you
Oh, the crime is getting worse. I mean, I was robbed. It was getting
believe?
way. Yeah.
How did the other guy come out?
He came out with my briefcase.
Yeah, with you.
Yeah. So, Robert 1, Brian 0.
No, but can you imagine you do this and then you start hearing that they had a 20-year reduction of crime. It's worse. It was worse during the Biden administration than anybody's ever imagined possible. And I guarantee you, he wouldn't be here if those numbers continued. But now we have total safety. We have total security. And for the border, in 3 months, 0 people. These are done by liberal people that do these charts. 0 people came through our border in the last 90 days. Can you believe it? 0. Last year, we had millions of people coming in. And they came in from the wrong locations. They came in a lot of people that shouldn't be here. So now when we have this event in December, it's going to be very safe. Johnny, you can walk down the street with your beautiful wife.
Yeah.
You can take her to dinner if you can get a reservation, which I doubt.
And they're all full, the restaurants.
I know. They're all full. I heard that too. The restaurants the restaurants, since we are doing this, are doing great. And many new restaurants are going to open because, as you know, many closed. Many restaurants closed because the crime was so bad. This will be one of the safest places anywhere on earth. So, I really am honored that the National Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police. And we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do. We have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come.
Okay. So, this is big business we're talking about here. Listen, hear Johnny Infantino say that there's 6 billion, 105,000 jobs, 6 million visitors to World Cup games. The draw is going to take place in December at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and Trump said he's going to be prepared for that. The city's going to be beautiful and safe. He's beautifying D.C. right now, removing homeless encampments and talking about shutting down the slums and moving people out to beautify the city, make it accessible, aesthetically pleasing for tourists and for people who want to come see the World Cup. And also make it beautified for the cameras. There's going to be a lot of media in D.C. and different cities to show the World Cup and to cover the proceedings. You notice when Johnny Infantino was talking about the World Cup, Trump pivoted to crime. Talked about crime rates in Washington, D.C., and that if they had these crime rates, that they're bringing crime down, and that the crime rates had been maintained as they were in D.C., Johnny probably would not have come to D.C. Who knows? May not even brought the World Cup to the U.S. and some of these cities. He implied that Johnny could now go to a restaurant, have dinner with his wife, and be safe, and walk down the streets of D.C. and be safe. So it seems like this is all bringing the troops to D.C., beautifying D.C. is a lot of optics to, again, remove homeless encampments, destroy them, close the slums, get people off the streets, bring crime almost to zero to attract the FIFA World Cup. This is business. The World Cup is going to take place in 2026. It's going to be across 3 different countries and several cities. The cities in the U.S. are going to be Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Kansas City, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Miami. And of the cities Trump mentioned that had runaway crime rates that he may need to employ the National Guard, 3 of those cities are on the list, which is Washington, D.C., where the draw is going to take place in December, and the initial proceedings are going to take place. Los Angeles and also New York. So it seems like, again, a lot of the talk of bringing the National Guard to these cities appears to be a pretext for tracking FIFA World Cup and making Washington D.C. and other cities aesthetically pleasing for the World Cup, and give the image of being safe for World Cup visitors and for FIFA officials. So more, I'm sure we're gonna hear more about this, but stay tuned, because there's there's FIFA business to be done, and then there's also the declining crime rates as reported by Muriel Bowser, Brandon Scott in Chicago, and Baltimore, Brandon Johnson in Chicago, where the officials, city officials, various cities are saying crime rates are falling. So that's Trump and the GE. Thank you for listening.